All right, welcome everybody. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend. Um, I did a mass yesterday. I didn't post it on TikTok. From this point on, the mass will be posted on Patreon. It will be on Patreon to view for free. So if you guys want to see the mass, if you weren't here yesterday, go follow me on my Patreon or go see the Patreon. It will be on there for free. Um, TikTok to post videos that long, it takes forever. I'm gonna start to funnel traffic towards my Patreon page. So if you guys didn't see the mass, it's not that I'm taking it away. It's that I do it live on TikTok and YouTube, but then I'll go ahead and post it on my Patreon. So hopefully, we can. I'll do a video about it, and again, I'll do all that stuff. That way, traffic goes to my Patreon to see the mass. Anyways, hopefully everyone had a good weekend. Right now we're gonna do a quick teaching about the daily Santa Muerte teachings, and then we'll go from there. All right. Hopefully the message is clear, and we can go ahead and move quickly through it. I'll just give it a few minutes, see if people start to funnel in. If not, then I'll start the teaching right now. We'll just give it a few minutes. Um, Hopefully everyone again had a good weekend. Sorry that the Super Bowl is not going to include the Rams. I was pulling for them, but hopefully it's a good game. Um, so we're gonna do a teaching really quick about La Santa Muerte. Then we're gonna do a quick I guess recap of the belief systems that we have here. And if there's any comments, you guys can always inbox me. Um, hey, Adrian, how are you? Thank you for the gift. May be blessed now forever. May Santa Muerte protect you and God guide you. So I have removed comments because we get a lot of people that come here and are disruptive for whatever reason. They have, you know, all the time in the world to just come in and try to inconvenience our lives. So the comments will remain off for the time being, and then hopefully we can move forward quickly. Thank you, A Drinks, for the roses. May be blessed now forever. May Santa Muerte protect you and God guide you. Thank you for that. So we're gonna go ahead and start the teaching right now. This is gonna be La Santa Muerte daily teaching, and this will also be posted on my Patreon. So we're gonna start moving the content over to Patreon. We'll still continue to post the daily and spiritual reads here in on TikTok. Will be the short versions of the long length ones that I post on Patreon. On Patreon, we're gonna have a few things that are different from TikTok. The reads for the birthday and the spiritual reads are way longer on the Patreon read. For those, there will be a commitment, a monthly commitment, a tithing, or donations in order to hear those. But you can continue to get those readings here on TikTok, the short versions for free. So here on TikTok, you're gonna get the daily reads, the spiritual reads, the birthday reads, and the daily prayer, which will be the short version. On my Patreon page, you'll have the extended version. The version that is like about 5 to 10 minutes long, depending on the day. On TikTok, there'll be like a minute or less. All right. So let's go ahead and start the teaching of the day. And again, all the teachings will be on Patreon. All right. So I'll do them live on here on YouTube and TikTok. And once the live is ended, we'll go ahead and place it over on the Patreon page. Okay. And again, these will be on the Patreon page perpetually. So whenever you want to go hear these teachings, or if you want to, recap the things that are said, they'll be perpetually on my Patreon page. Cool, cool. All right, here we go. Let's start the daily teaching. Santa Muerte daily teachings. Day 16th. Discernment versus delusion. Why not everything spiritual is true or from God. Spoken under God Almighty and La Santísima Muerte. This is discernment, not belief, not imagination, not crowd approval. This teaching matters because one of the most dangerous things in spiritual spaces is not disbelief, it is unchecked belief. People assume that if something feels spiritual, it must be true. If it feels intense, it must be real. If it feels powerful, it must be from God. That assumption destroys discernment. Intensity is not proof. Emotion is not authority. Experience alone is not validation. Not everything spiritual is clean. Not everything energetic is aligned. Not everything that feels strong is correct. And La Santa Muerte does not reward delusion. She corrects it. First, hard truth. Spiritual does not automatically mean divine. Energy exists everywhere. Intuition exists everywhere. Sensitivity exists everywhere. But not all of it comes from God, and not all of it operates under truth. Some things come from fear. Some come from ego. Some come from trauma. Some come from imagination reinforced by emotion. Some come from unresolved psychological pressure that gets spiritualized instead of addressed. Discernment is what separates truth from noise. Without it, people drift into fantasy and call it faith. Why people confuse delusion for spirituality. People confuse delusion for spirituality because delusion feels personal. It feels special, it feels validating, it feels empowering without responsibility. Delusion tells people you are chosen above others. You are right without correction. You do not need discipline. No one can question you. Disagreement means attack. Truth never speaks like that. Truth demands grounding. Truth demands humility. Truth demands responsibility. Truth does not inflate identity, it stabilizes it. Discernment is quiet. This is important. Real discernment is calm. It does not rush. It does not scream. It does not demand attention. It does not need to be defended constantly. Discernment can sit in silence without needing validation. Delusion is loud. It panics when questioned. It reacts aggressively. It needs affirmation. It attacks disagreement. If something collapses when questioned, it was never strong. Truth holds under pressure. Fantasy fractures. Why La Santa Muerte does not feed fantasy. La Santísima Muerte does not support fantasy. She does not inflate identity. She does not confirm ego stories. She does not encourage unchecked belief. She does not reward obsession. She corrects, she grounds, she strips illusion. People who want comfort often struggle with her presence because comfort requires illusion to survive. Truth removes cushions. Death energy removes pretending. Signs something is delusion and not discernment. Pay attention to these signs. The message centers the self excessively. There is no accountability. Correction is rejected immediately. Questioning is labeled as attack. Everything becomes a sign. Fear increases instead of clarity. Obsession replaces discipline. Behavior becomes erratic or reactive. Truth does not destabilize you. Delusion does. Truth simplifies, delusion complicates. Why emotion is not a reliable compass. Emotion is information. It is not authority. Emotion changes. Emotion reacts. Emotion amplifies. If emotion is driving your spirituality, you will mistake intensity for truth. You will chase highs. You will fear lows. You will read meaning into everything. Discernment remains steady, even when emotion fluctuates. La Santa Muerte does not move emotionally. She moves correctly. Gifts require discernment or they become dangerous. This connects directly to the previous teaching. Having gifts without discernment is like driving fast without brakes. Seeing without grounding leads to paranoia. Feeling without discipline leads to overwhelmness. Knowing without humility leads to arrogance. Healing without restraint leads to burnout or harm. Gifts amplify whatever foundation you stand on. Discernment is the anchor. Without it, gifts drift into distortion. Why some people reject discernment. People reject discernment because it limits fantasy. It says, slow down, check yourself, be honest, accept correction. Fantasy hates limits. Fantasy wants endless confirmation. Fantasy wants attention. Fantasy wants power without responsibility. Fantasy wants identity without discipline. Discernment kills fantasy. That is why it is resisted. Discernment requires silence. You cannot discern in noise. Constant posting, constant talking, constant reacting, constant explaining, constant defending. That drowns discernment. Discernment grows in silence, observation, patience, restraint, listening more than speaking. La Santa Muerte teaches this naturally because death energy does not compete for attention. Why false authority fails over time. People who operate from delusion eventually collapse. Not because they are attacked, not because they are cursed, not because someone exposed them, because reality corrects them. Delusion cannot sustain discipline. It cannot maintain consistency. It cannot survive truth. Time exposes everything, always. How to stay discerning and grounded. Keep this posture. Question yourself before questioning others. Check your behavior, not just your beliefs. Accept correction without defensiveness. Stay consistent instead of intense. Ground spiritual experiences in daily discipline. Remember that God outranks every feeling. Discernment keeps you clean. It keeps your work stable. It keeps your gifts from turning against you. Final truth. Not everything spiritual is from God. Not everything intense is true. Not everything that feels powerful is aligned. Discernment is what keeps gifts clean. Discernment is what keeps devotion stable. Discernment is what keeps people from losing themselves. La Santa Muerte does not walk with fantasy. She walks with truth. All of this unfolds under the authority of God Almighty. Sit with this teaching. Intensity fades. Truth remains. All right. So that teaching is about discernment versus delusion. There's lots of people that go around here with, I want to say, delusions of grandeur, thinking that they're chosen or they are above others. When you walk with humility, you walk closer to God. You walk closer to the death energy. You walk closer with Santa Muerte. It is very, very, very humbling to fall into true spiritual, let's say, teachings. When you have true intensity, it helps you fuel lots of things, your daily lives, your daily goals. But intensity, when it comes to spirituality, might fog you. You might have to step back and humble yourself. There's lots of people, again, that walk around saying that they are above others, that they are chosen, that they are more than what meets the eye. That kind of feeling goes unchecked. We live in an era where anything spoken on social media is perceived as truth. We live in a time where anyone could perceive themselves as a, let's say, a prophet, a teacher, even a god. I've heard people claim to be gods or goddesses, and that's dangerously close to being blasphemous in many respects. True humility is formed over time, and you must learn to check these things before you become too big for your britches. For example, if you're the GOAT, no one should, you can't claim to be the GOAT. You can't claim to be the best. People have to label you as that. You can't proclaim to be chosen or called or a prophet. These things are not labels that you could bestow upon yourself. And for those that speak loudly, find humility in the words you speak. Find humility in how you carry yourself. Find humility and correct yourself. I've always said this. I am but a mere speck in time. My life will reflect, hopefully, some good deeds. But in the big scheme of things, I am just a fuse. I am a connector. The power doesn't come from with me at all. The knowledge doesn't come from me. It comes from her and from God. It comes through divinity. I never take any kind of let's say, any kind of credit for the things that I say or speak, because I know it's not me. It's her, it's God. It's these energies that speak through me, because, again, honestly, I'm not that articulate. I have a elementary school education at best. But when I speak of her and when I speak of God, things come together and they make sense. They spew out of me without thinking about it. They spew out of me because they come from elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I never take credit for any of these teachings or any of these things, because I am but a mere vessel. I am but a mere fuse. I am but a mere speck in this whole thing. And again, for those that walk close to God or are children of death, you walk humbly. You walk without ego. You walk without, let's say, delusions of grandeur. And this is not to attack anyone or anybody. But if you go around saying that you are all these magnificent things, most likely you're not. Sometimes we feel less than, so we build ourselves up. It's okay to build yourself up, but never at the expense of spirituality, not at the expense of God, not at the expense of other people. Anyways, so I'm gonna say this. When you speak truth, you don't have to over explain it. When you speak from the heart, it is true and sincere. If your intentions are good, people will resonate with you. And you don't have to over explain. You don't got to prove yourself. Actions will speak louder than anything you can say. Walk humbly, walk straight, walk correctly. Follow your path, live your spiritual self. Every temple that I come across is very uniquely its own. And I mean this in a physical way. You are your own temple. You are your own church. Live by what you feel is right. Live by what makes you a better person. Stick to your moral code, to your standards, whatever that may be. I've always said this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Everyone is welcomed here, as long as it comes with respect and respect others' beliefs and teachings. I've had people here that are Muslim, Jewish, Catholic, Christian, Buddhist, Luciferians, Wiccan, native teachings and spirituality. We all come together here to share ideology because at the end of the day, spirituality is the same. We should all have the same fundamental truths, that there is more to life than this, that there is a higher power, and there is judgment. So no matter how you call God, no matter what you refer to as the death energy, it is all one and the same, and we all go down the same road. And as a people, we should understand that not everyone is going to have the same labels. Not everyone's going to have the same beliefs, but we should learn to respect one another. We should not be aggressive towards each other. We should not be those that hold disdain for strangers. My personal belief, and this is how I live by, people say that respect is earned. To me, that is false. I hold respect for everyone till they make me lose it. Everyone that walks towards me or speaks to me has my utmost respect until they don't. So respect should not be earned. Respect is given until it is null and void. To me, anyone that approaches me or talks to me, I respect you. It is until you lose respect for me that I lose respect for you. So that's up to me. The whole respect is earned. I don't agree with that. Respect is given until disrespect is shown, at least for me. I don't care if you're a stranger. I don't care if we hardly talk to each other. You have my utmost respect until you no longer have it. And that's how we should approach everybody. Anyone that thinks differently than you should respect their thought process. It is the differences that makes us stronger. It is disagreements that can bring us together. Why people get so pig-headed and cannot stand to have someone else think outside the box or differently than them is crazy. We should all tolerate one another. We are all children of God in one way or another. If you are atheist, there's still a higher power that most atheists do, I guess, acknowledge. So respect one another. I don't say you gotta like each other, but you should at least respect one another. Yesterday, the mass was about respect. And during that mass, someone came on and started talking shit. Because, again, whenever you try to say something that's trying to unify everybody, there will be those, the naysayers, that want to create that dissent, that negative energy. And nothing attracts negative energy more than positive energy. If you are a person that gravitates towards drama, towards discomfort, towards negativity, that can be changed. You don't have to be upset at everything. You don't have to dislike everybody. You don't have to agree with nobody. Doesn't mean you have to fucking, be a bitch about it. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. It's okay to be different. It's okay. All these things are okay. But nothing ever validates you being hateful towards somebody else just because they think different than you, just because they have different beliefs and values. We all have different values. Thank you, Diana. Again, I want to thank all my gifters. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Diana, for being here. It's been a minute since I've spoken to you. Like, like, like the screen if you guys like what you're hearing. If you agree with me that we should be unified. As people, we should be unified. As a nation, we should be unified. As a species, we should be fucking unified. There can be differences. And that's why we have debate. That's why we elect. That's why we choose. Because majority rules. At this point, people didn't like the majority and they threw a tantrum. And that's okay. But again, we should respect one another. We should respect each other and our values. We don't have to be the same. We don't have to come to the same agreements. We can agree to disagree sometimes. And that's one of the most common practices. To be mature enough to accept that other people have different values in you. They believe in God differently. They may identify differently. They may do all these things differently, but it doesn't mean that you have to be hateful towards them. I'm going to say this. I don't care what you identify as. You can identify as a fucking Twinkie. You can identify as a cat. You can identify as a man or a woman, even though you don't got those right bits, right? I don't care what you identify as. It's pretty much the way you live, and it doesn't affect me. It doesn't concern me. That's the way you live. And I respect that. But I also want people to understand that I believe there's only two sexes, male and female. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. But it does not allow me to be hateful towards anyone because they think otherwise. To each their own. Live and let live. That is common courtesy. Live and let live. How people identify, how people vote, how people carry themselves. That's what matters. How people carry themselves. Can you respect someone else that isn't like you? Can you respect those that don't think like you? Can you be tolerant of those that are not like-minded? That's what makes somebody spiritual. That's what elevates. To accept everyone. When will you people that claim to be so spiritual get that through your fucking thick head? You cannot be a Christian or Catholic and condemn others for the way they believe. There's many roads to perdition. There's many roads to salvation. All roads lead to God if lived correctly. All roads lead to salvation if you live under certain rules and regulations and restraints. No one holds dominion over God. No one can stake claim to God. That is wrong, to say the least. God holds dominion over his children, not the other way around. If you think because you speak of God, you're holy, but yet condemn others and be judgmental towards everyone that's not like you, that's wrong. God sent his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, to live amongst us so we could better understand the human struggle and plight. God understood pain through the eyes of a father. God understood struggle through the eyes of a father. And Jesus Christ, although not God, but chosen to be his only son, went through those trials and tribulations and stood tall, did not judge anybody, walked amongst thieves, prostitutes, and tax collectors. Tax collectors were hated back then. Prostitutes, thieves, murderers. He walked amongst those that needed salvation the most. Never judged, never condemned. There's some of you that all day long, all you do is judge, condemn, and speak ill of your brethren. There's nothing holy or spiritual about that. If you claim to be a disciple of any spiritual higher power, you should learn to not condemn those that are not like you. If you have another belief, let it be about sexual orientation, political, health, no matter what it is, you shouldn't pass judgment on others. It shouldn't be that way. Our differences make us stronger because we can see everything from all sides. Our differences make us stronger because we can then have dialogue and correct the wrongs that need corrected and amplify the good from it. Division weakens us as a people, as a country, as a nation. It weakens us. Division weakens us at the core. Divided we stand. United we stand, divided we fall. For those that choose self-righteousness over righteousness, there's a difference. Self-righteousness over righteousness, you're doing it wrong. Self-righteousness is ego. Self-righteousness is personal belief. Being righteous is overall trying to be a good person to your brothers and sisters, to your fellow man. Being obligated to the word of God or the mercy of death. Self-righteousness has no place in true spirituality. At least that's my belief. And I could be wrong because I've never claimed to be right on anything. It's my truth. It's how I speak. It's my belief. All right. The next topic here that I'm going to speak on is what I stand on. This is a precursor to what I'm putting together. I stand against conformity per se. I don't like big religion. I think big religion has sort of brought more tyranny than good to the world of man. But it's made a few strong and a few very powerful. But overall, religion has weakened the human form. I am working on bringing together a spiritual forum, almost a spirituality that will fucking be on paper. And my beliefs are those that I believe in. They don't got to be your belief systems. I always say, whatever I speak on here, make it your own. If it sounds like truth to you, take it. If it doesn't, you can reform it to better suit you. And everything spoken here is on a spiritual sense. You could take it and apply it to anything that you do. If you don't got to be a Santa Muerte devoted person to take these teachings and run with them. I try to make them as general as possible so people can better understand spirituality. And I never, ever try to fucking make anyone believe like me. I never try to convert people. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here about conversion. I'm here about truth. So here we go. This is what I stand on. Ready? What I stand on, a statement of my core spiritual beliefs. This exists for clarity, not to convert you, not to recruit you, not to elevate me. I exist so there is no confusion about what I believe, how I walk, and why I teach the way I do. You are free to agree or disagree. There is no gate here, only truth, stated plainly. God, I believe in God as a supreme source of all existence. God is not a character. God is not confined to one religion, one book, one language, or one culture. God is the originating energy from which all things emerge. Creation, destruction, light, shadow, life, death, all exist because God permits them to exist. God has been called many names across time and culture, not because God changes, but because human language does. Yahweh, Allah, El Elyon, the Great Spirit, the One, the Source. Different tongues, same origin. I reject the idea that God belongs to one people or one institution. I reject the idea that God favors one language over another. I reject the idea that God requires uniformity to be real. God is quiet. God observes. God provides intuition, opportunity, and consequence. God does not need constant intervention to be sovereign. God allows choice and allows outcomes. Mercy exists, correction exists, protection exists, but responsibility is never removed. Divine order and energy. I believe existence is ordered, not random. Energy moves according to law. Cause and effect is not punishment, it is structure. God does not micromanage creation. God established law, and law governs movement. Spirituality is not exemption from law, it is awareness of it. The closer you walk to truth, the more precise life becomes. Death as divine instrument. I believe death was created by God as a necessary balance to life. Death is not rebellion. Death is not evil. Death is not chaos. Death is a faithful witness and an instrument of divine will. Without death, life has no boundary. Without boundary, there is no meaning. Death has appeared across cultures under many names, forms, and symbols. Anubis, Mictlantecuhtli, Azrael, Hell, Santa Muerte. Different faces, same function. I believe La Santísima Muerte is one of these manifestations, a form death has taken within special cultural, historical, and linguistic context. She is not new, she is recognized. La Santísima Muerte. I believe in La Santa Muerte, and she exists under God's authority, not beside it. She does not replace God. She does not rival God. She does not rule independently. She serves divine order. Truth, protection, accountability, inevitable, and what's inevitable. She does not flatter humans. She does not reward ego. She does not lie to preserve comfort. She appears frightening only because death strips illusion. People fear her because she cannot be bribed by belief alone. She stands where endings occur and where clarity begins. I do not believe she is exclusive to Mexico. I do not believe death belongs to one culture. Cultures give death language and imagery. God gives death authority. Names, culture, and translation. I believe spiritual truth travels through culture, not above it. Names change because language changes. Symbols change because people change. Essence does not change. To deny this is to deny history. I reject spiritual gatekeeping based on ethnicity, nationality, or ancestry. Honoring cultural roots does not require denying universal truth. Santa Muerte's imagery is Mexican. Death itself is human. God is universal. Death is universal. Choice, intuition, and accountability. Free will is real. Intuition is real. So is consequence. I believe God speaks more through intuition than through commands. You are given tools. You are given awareness. You are given signs. What you do with them matters. I reject the idea that everything is a curse, a demon, or bad energy. Sometimes the truth is simple. You chose, and life responded. Spirituality does not remove accountability, it tightens it. Being marked or chosen. Some people are exposed to death, danger, or awareness early. This is not favoritism, it is assignment. To be marked early is not a reward, it is preparation through pressure. Being spared does not mean protected from pain, it means responsibility remains unfinished. Anyone who uses chosen language to elevate themselves has misunderstood it. True chosenness humbles, it does not inflate. Vows and obligation. Words matter. Vows matter. I believe when you petition God and death and are spared, something is expected. Not theatrically, not supernaturally, morally. Spirituality is not casual. If you are spared, healed, or redirected, alignment is required. Ancestors and the dead. I believe the dead remain witnesses, not gods, not replacements for God, witnesses. Ancestors can guide, warn, and intercede when permitted. Honoring them means living upright, not romanticizing bloodlines. Spiritual gifts. Not everyone has the same gifts. Some see, some feel, some heal, some discern. This does not create hierarchy among people. It creates responsibility among the gifted. Gifts without discipline destroy. Spiritual jealousy corrodes communities. Skepticism and discernment. I am open, not gullible. I test everything. I reject superstition masked as wisdom. I reject fear used as control. Truth does not need hysteria. Suffering. Suffering is not always punishment. Sometimes it is refinement. Sometimes it is consequence. Sometimes it is unavoidable. I reject romanticizing suffering. I also reject pretending it has no purpose. Discipline. Discipline is spiritual. Consistency outweighs intensity. There are no shortcuts. Anyone promising instant alignment is lying or confused. Protection. Protection does not mean ease. It means survival, correction, warning before collapse. Community and teaching. I believe in exchange, not echo chambers. Disagreement sharpens truth. Disrespect ends dialogue. I teach to correct and prepare, sometimes gently, sometimes firmly. Truth spoken without grounding is cruelty. Grounding without truth is weakness. Final grounding. God is the supreme source of all that exists. Death is his faithful witness and instrument. La Santísima Muerte is one manifestation of that eternal function. Not exclusivity, not fantasy, no hierarchy of humans, only alignment. Take what resonates, leave what does not. No gate, no pressure, just truth. So that's what I stand on. Those are my core beliefs. That is how I live. That is how I maintain. Every day I get up, and for the last, I don't know how many years, I pray. I do the work that you see before you. I write prayer. I write mass. I do readings for years. I live this way. This is not, to me, this is the only way to live now. I practice what I preach, and I preach what I practice. I know it's a fucking circle there. It just goes like that in circles. This is my truth. This is my identity. This is not for fucking fan fiction. This is not for TikTok or fucking spiritual likes. I can be honest with everyone right here, right now. There's only a few of us. I give two fucks about anyone's opinion except those of my children, my parents, my God, and my Santa Muerte. Everyone else that I hold dear and value, you know. After that, truth is what I follow. Justice is what I preach. That's the only way I know how to live. This is who I am. This is not for show. This is not to feel risen or above. It is my alignment. It is how I chose to venerate God and Santa Muerte, to bring them to the masses the way they showed themselves to me. And for those that believe in a higher power, understand this: you do not hold dominion over the spiritual realm, especially God, or especially any hierarchy like the death energy. No one has control over that. God has control over us, not the other way around. For those that believe in God, beautiful. God demands obedience, not theatrics. God demands purity, not hate. God demands loyalty, not fluctuating people that come and go as they please, only come to God when they need. That kind of shit is not alignment. There's been a few of you that have gotten to know me at a real level. Again, this is not for show. This is how I live. I am not one of those people that turns on the camera and then goes off and does other shit that doesn't align with what I preach or teach. It's not how I live. Do I have a checkered past? Of course I do. Who doesn't? Have I learned from my mistakes? I think I was placed here to make mistakes to learn from them. I think that's why I could identify with most, because I've been through the struggles. I've been put through loss. I've been put through punishment. I've had highs. I've had lows. I've had great, great moments. And I've had very, very, very dismal ones. That's what makes this life an education. I think I've been put through hardships to understand more deeply. And I know there's people that have been put through hardships farther larger than mine. And they are chosen in their own right. They may have a different calling. They may have a different path. They may not never understand the path they're on. But the calling is there to take. You got to identify it. Being chosen doesn't make you better. It places more responsibility over you. Being chosen does not make you higher on the totem pole. If anything, it puts you lower because there's more expected of you. If you believe you are chosen and carry yourself with very high personal expectations, ego driven, maybe borderline self delusion, there's something wrong with the way you're doing it. We're all special. We are all chosen. We are all capable of alignment because we are. The way you choose to live, the way you choose to treat others, and the way you praise or follow the word of God will ultimately decide your faith when judgment day comes for you. I'll be honest, and I've always been honest about this. I struggle to be a better person at times. It's easier to be a heathen. It's easier to not follow direction. It's easier to be fucking bad. Because it fucking is. Every day is a work in progress for me. And I know there's some of you just like me that probably had more hardships, and it's a harder fucking hill to climb every day. But every day you put your head to the pillow and you did what was asked of you. That is alignment. Sometimes we want to go after beaten paths and we want to go and do what we want to do, or, go against the grain and just, be rebellious or hurt those that try to hurt us. If you are spiritually aligned, you are better than that. And I struggle with that constantly. I'll say this. It is okay to defend yourself spiritually, physically, by any means necessary if someone does attack. It is okay. It is our God-given right as a human and children of God to defend ourselves spiritually and physically. Anything that someone tries to throw at you, you can throw it back. No consequence. But it is not okay to attack others just because they're different. It is not. It is not okay to be self-righteous and call it righteousness. There's a difference. Self-righteousness is delusional. True righteousness is not your path. It is a path you were given, and law and justice and order that you're given to follow. Anyways, I've probably spoken too much, and I guess when I don't have people on here hating on me, my lives are smaller, but it's okay. I'd rather have people here that are aligned and want to be here for truth than people that want to come here for the drama or negative energy. All right. So look, right now, I'm going to go ahead and end this live, and I'm going to end it like this. Be better to those around you. Be better to yourself. Don't let people determine your outcome. You have the power to determine your own. Follow your path. Follow your heart. Follow divinity. If you believe what I believe, great. If you don't, that's fucking great too. And if you're a person that all you do is hate because you feel inferior to others, or maybe someone took your lunch money, or maybe because you have a Napoleon complex, whatever it is you hate for or feel that you need to attack everybody, find that little thing inside you and correct it. There's no need to go around life angry and attacking everyone for your shortcomings. That's truth. All right, I'll be back in a little while. I think I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna post these things. I'm gonna create a few things for Patreon. I'm gonna create so like I said earlier, the mass will not be posted on TikTok. It'll be for free on Patreon. So I'm gonna make a post about that right now. If you guys want to go see the mass on Patreon, again, it'll be free on Patreon. There'll be some things on Patreon that'll be, for free, and then some things are gonna be paid. Like all the daily, I guess, teachings will be on Patreon, at a monthly cost. Consider that a tithing or consider it donations. I'm gonna build two, I guess, two levels. One that will include the daily reads, the prayers, the I guess the spiritual reading and the birthday reading from Patreon, which is longer, and then there'll be another level that includes all the teachings and everything. But the mass will always be free. No matter what, the mass will always be free in hopes to bring people closer to the truth. All right? If you guys have any questions, please inbox me. For those that want us to take my time by sending bullshit messages or calling me hateful or calling me whatever, hold your breath. That doesn't woo me. It doesn't shake me, and it doesn't fucking bother me. I lived my entire life with people hating me, which is not a new condition for me. I know that's sad. But it doesn't shake me, it doesn't bother me. Don't waste your time. For those that are threatening me, I've had threats before. I've had threats my entire life. And it's okay. It's not a new condition for me either. It doesn't scare me, it doesn't spook me. And if for those that say they're gonna come and see me, you guys are welcome to come see me whenever you guys want. Especially if you announce yourself. I'll be ready. And as Sugar Free says, I stays ready. Like, you know what I mean? Anyways, I'm not here to spread any kind of, negativity. Again, I don't fucking put my nose in business. Don't concern me. I don't talk shit to talk shit. And I don't speak loosely just to speak. So again, I say this wholeheartedly. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. See how your life gets better from that point. If it doesn't, try it again. Quite frankly, being a good person does take time. It requires obligation to that truth. It requires determination day in, day out to try to be a better person. But I think long term, it's a good feeling. I've tried to help multiple people. It doesn't always work out the way it's supposed to. So again, a lot of people have wasted my time. A lot of people have taken advantage of my kindness. So from this point on, unless you're already grandfathered in, I'm not going to be talking to new people unless there's a reciprocation of energy of some sort. It doesn't mean that I don't want to help people. It means I got to start taking care of self as well. It has been a long time coming. I never wanted to charge people for the things I do. I felt people would take care of me eventually. And the funny thing is that people have tried to help along the way that have having contributed to the help I've given are the ones that usually turn around and sort of betray your trust, which is crazy. The more you try to help people, sometimes the more they don't appreciate it. But again, that's not everybody. So again, from this point on, unless you've been grandfathered in, I'm not going to sort of give energy to people that are looking for a spiritual handout. Not because I feel I'm better, but because long term, I have to start protecting my energy and those that I serve. and to my God and my Santa Muerte and my children and my parents and all that shit. So again, there's people that I hold dearly right now. Again, Frank, David, Ariel, Susie. I can name a bunch of people that you guys have held me up and have been faithful and true to what I try to teach. And I'm eternally thankful. And again, then there's people that are fair weather, and that's fine. They only reach out when something, or whatever, and that's fine. And again, I understand my role in the universe. I'm but a mere speck in time in everyone's life because, that's just the way it is. I'm not meant to hold a station, I think. I'm meant to move forward and help whoever I can at the moment I'm supposed to. And that's the truth. Some people will say, ah, ah. No, I'm aware of it. Anyways, I'll be back in a bit. I'll do another live later on at night. I'll come back and do the videos. Again, like I'm gonna go right now create these videos to post on Patreon. I'm gonna create two different levels of things, and then eventually I'm gonna create a third level on Patreon, which is gonna teach how to do candle work and all that other good stuff, spell work or whatever, and da da da. So that's gonna be a third level for those people that want to learn how to do that other shit. But again, that's gonna come later. I want to make sure that I put on or put out there what should be said and what shouldn't be said, because I don't want this being misused by people that are not aligned with what we're trying to teach here. There's lots of people that take this and they run with it and they do horrific things. And again, I don't want to be a contributing factor to that. All right. So I'll be back in a little bit. Thank you for being here. Again, I'll start to remove certain things as time progresses. And again, TikTok, thank you for being here. YouTube, thank you for being here. Everyone else, again, if you're here to learn, I'm here to teach. If you're here to talk shit, kick rocks. Trying to turn this shit off. It doesn't want to turn off.